We'll call to order the council meeting for the 13th of August, 2024. We stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Place your right hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, could you call the roll?
Successor Agency and Housing Authority.
Okay. Public comment. We're going to accept public comment for any item on today's agenda, unless we have a public hearing, which I don't think we do. So there is any public comment? Hearing no public comment.
Comment about anything we want to talk about?
No, at the end, sir.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to that. Let's see. So we'll go with item 1, CSA 1 and H1.
Warrant register.
Receive and file. We'll adjourn the successor agency and the Inglewood Housing Authority. Consent calendar. Items 2 through 11.
Second.
Madam City Clerk.
Council members Gray,
Aye.
Pia,
Aye.
Morales,
Aye.
Falk,
Aye.
Mayor Chairman Butts.
Aye. DR1.
Receive and file the staff report outlining the design update for the renovation of the Inglewood, Maine Library and Innovation Center.
Let's see. So it says receive and file and allow brief presentation. So we'll receive and file and we'll have the brief presentation.
Yes, Harjinder Singh will be providing the presentation. He oversees the library as the Deputy City Manager.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. I want to quickly show some slides as to where we're at in the renovation. Basically, we've been hard at work with our architect, LPA, and this is the culmination of all of the feedback that we got from the public, working around the specifics of the seismic retrofit, and making sure that staff are able to run the building efficiently and keep the building looking nice over a long period of time. So let's go ahead and start with the first slide.
Simulation.
That's nice.
Okay. Here we are entering the vestibule here. Next slide. All right, so this is at the bottom of the ramp. If you guys noticed that we did bring in some additional colors into this space. We've got some sail shades that's over a community room area, so we can use the patio inside and out. Next slide. What you'll notice on the left here in brown is the new elevator that we're adding. The current elevators that we have were not ADA compliant. The job of this elevator is basically to bring you from the ground floor up to the main floor here. And the large black tower is the other exterior elevator that we've added, which also needed to be expanded for ADA compliance. What you guys notice, the balance of colors here is meant to enliven the library entrance, but also understand that we are within a larger campus of City Hall, the police department. So I think we've found a good balance between those two things. Next slide. Again, this is a shot of the sail shades as well as the entry for the new community room. Next slide. We've added some additional signage off of Manchester. That was important. A lot of people can't see the signage for the library. There was a sign that's kind of hidden by the trees, but this makes it a little bit easier as they understand that they have to come down a back street for the access to the parking lot. This was, again, feedback from the public, just trying to understand exactly where the site is at. Next slide. This is the layout of the ground floor. What's important here is on the top right side in pink, that is the area that we've designated for the South Bay Investment Board, where they run an independently run teen center. What was important is that they had their own access to this space and access to their own bathrooms. Currently, as the operation is, those students tend to get into sensitive areas of the library where we store items, and this will give them an independent space to go ahead and run on their own because we believe this is a long-term relationship that we'll have with the South Bay Investment Board. Next slide. This is the main floor for the library. And a couple things that you guys are going to notice. On the upper right is the new teen library space. What we wanted to do was to give an enclosed space for them so they could speak at regular volumes. We know when they get out of school, everybody's excited and they want to talk. If you don't have enclosed spaces, then we tend to have to shush them. And that's not the type of environment that we want to create. So the idea was to give them a private space that was theirs, where they could study. There is some TVs for gaming and things of that nature, but it's more of a lounge area that also lets them study. Also, the teen collection is within this space as well. The area in orange down below is the new children's library, which you'll notice is a pretty large expansion on that part of it. It's got its own bathrooms. It's very important that when people go into the children's library, since they're with young kids, that they have access to their own bathrooms. They can do everything they need without having to go into the rest of the library. The book collection, we have not reduced the number of books for either one of our collections. It's going to remain at 140,000, even though we've added all of these new spaces here. On the bottom right side, we have added what we call a flexible classroom in the children's space. That was really important during class visits. A lot of the teachers wanted to do some lessons and other things within this space, and we want to get them into a place that's quiet. This area, again, will have computers, and just like we do now, free printing, 20 free prints per day, which is very important for the students, so we're not changing any part of that operation. On the right side corner, what you have is an area that can be closed off. So it's a story room, but it can also be opened up just to be part of the regular library. And what was important for us is to have the library be flexible. We don't know what the future brings. So these spaces need to be able to change over time. If we have 2 class visits, then we can have 2 enclosed areas for that to happen. Right now, we really have to control it at 1 class visit at a time because that level of space just didn't exist. Up on the, in blue, up on the left-hand side is the new community room that we're gonna be adding. And what you guys will notice, that will exit right to the area with the sail shades. What that allows us to do is to have a space that's run completely independent from the library, where we can close off that space. If the community needs to borrow it, if the city has events, even if we need to do programming that's not associated with the rest of the library, where we're just gonna bring them in from the side and exit. And this area has its own bathrooms and a small kitchenette, just depending on whether we're doing any cooking lessons or anything like that. But it's another flexible space that's there for the community, as well as the ability for library staff to use the space. Let's go ahead and go to the next slide. Again, this is the entry. Next slide. Now we're looking inside the vestibule. What you guys are going to notice is we've put glass at each one of the openings, and that was to specifically address the noise concerns. Right now, currently, each floor is open, and that allows the sound for anybody coming in to bounce off the walls and go right into the space. We also had to do a lot of work to make this space fire rated, and unfortunately, the current mural that we have will not be able to survive what we need to do to this space to make it fire rated. Even the wood panels on the right side are all fire rated, and there's sprinklers throughout. Anytime you have a large cavity, fire rises very quickly, and you have to control that with the right applications along the wall. Next slide. Again, another look at the vestibule. Next slide. Basically, what we're doing is going into the new teen library space. We got a lot of feedback from the teens, and we have a regular focus group that we meet. It was very important for them to have an area that felt a little bit more high-end and not childish. So the design plan was more of a high-end coffee shop to give that general feel and to bring some additional color. The colors are about correct what we're going to use in this space, but the furniture is just placeholders, so we haven't finalized that part of it. But again, it's a very substantial space for our teens, and we are going to add a couple of quiet study rooms and things like that, some enclosed spaces. That was needed because some teens do need a quiet space, even though most of them usually do talk at higher volumes. Next slide. Next slide. Again, another picture of the teen library. You guys can notice the application that we've done to the ceiling. That's a mix of trying to bring as much height to the room as we possibly can, but also covering up a lot of the piping and other things. So it's to do our best to play off the industrial look of the building, but also keep it modern and sophisticated. Next slide. This is the first of the staircases that connect the entire library of all 3 floors. So basically, you're going to get a redo of each one of these up above for all 3 floors, and that basically connects the entire library. Right now, we actually don't have anything that connects the entire space, but this will be a grand staircase that will basically bring all of the floors together in a unified design language. We've also taken advantage of some of the extra space here to have some seating. And when you look into the back glass, you're looking into the children's library. So it was one of those reasons is we want to make sure that we can secure this seating area so even the staff that are inside can see through the glass of anybody that's sitting over here. And if you also saw on the line of sight, the front staff desk can also see straight to this space. So it's really important that we've got eyeballs everywhere because parents do really want a secure, safe spot for their children. Next slide. This is a rendering of the new community room that we're adding. Right now, we know we need to add some additional colors and make that pop, but it's a rendering just to give you an idea of what be available to the public and to staff. Next slide. This is the floor plan of the second floor. And what you'll notice at the top left-hand side is the computer classroom. That has specifically been designed to hold 32 PCs, so it matches the average class size at the Inglewood High School. So each room is specific to being able to address a classroom if it's needed for that side. Next to that is what we call a flexible classroom. We don't have technology in there, but you have the type of flooring where you can do painting and other things like that and not have any concern for the room being damaged or looking used over time. The right-hand side is where we have our staff offices. In the middle right side is the new makerspace. That's actually going to have wood cutters, 3D printers, sewing machines. There's a number of different technology and working with hand items that are going to be within that space. So we're still finalizing the exact products, but what was important is that we have the area laid out as well as the type of ventilation that's needed for that type of space and all the uses that we're having. What you'll also notice around the bottom ring are all of the new study rooms that we've added, right? This is an exceptionally large amount of study room, and part of the feedback from the public was that they needed private spaces to study. Every other one of these study rooms, which are a little bit larger, will have their own TV, as well as a camera for them to do Zoom meetings. So that's really important because we understand that students are connecting with others even though they're doing group assignments. So there is a decent amount of technology in all of these study rooms for them to use. And in yellow at the top middle there, that is just the computers that are out there for the public in general. And I think that's about 36 PCs. So there's just a whole lot of PCs on this space just to make sure that the public is never having to wait. And again, it can be run independently from the classrooms that we have. In the middle there is our bathrooms. We've got 2 single-use bathrooms as well as a men's and women's. That was a lot of the feedback that we got from the public as well too. Large, clean bathrooms that are accessible. Next slide. This is basically a walkthrough of the floor that we just discussed. These are the PCs that are out there for the public to use, and those 2 back rooms that you guys are seeing. The one on the left is the computer lab, and the one on the right is the flexible classroom that we talked about. Next slide. These are the new study rooms that are being added. Next slide. Some additional lounge seating that's within this space. It's a mixture of lounge and study space. Since this room has a maker space and classrooms and things like that, we do not expect this to be a quiet floor. So when we don't have a quiet floor, we try and balance that with lounge areas as well too, so people can have regular conversations.
Go to the interfaces.
Next slide. Another still rendering of the area that we just looked at. Next slide. This is looking into the makerspace. You can also see the reference desk where our staff is located. If you notice in the floor plan, this is one of the ideal locations for us to put staff. As people come up the stairs, we can make eye contact with them, welcome them to the floor, as well as asking them if they need anything. It's really important to have that interaction with the public, not only when they come into the building, but at each floor, just to make sure that everybody finds what they need. Next slide. Again, these are stills of the new study rooms, and you can see a representation of the TVs that will be within the space, or monitors more correctly. Next slide. Next slide. This is the rendering of the top floor of the library. What you guys will notice is this is where we keep most of our book collection. Again, that collection will not change or reduce. It still will be at 145 to 150,000 items. You'll notice on the right-hand side is where the admin staff offices are. And this area has a lot of quiet seating. What you're not seeing in this rendering right now is a recent addition that we've added, and that'll be on the bottom left-hand side, and that is a new recording studio that we're going to have, right? It's gonna take up maybe 2,500 square feet, so it's gonna have quite a bit of space, and it's gonna be very state-of-the-art, very high-end with some of the best equipment that's out there, best recording equipment, best editing software, and all the rest of it. We're currently working on that, so again, that's not in our renderings right now, but the architects are currently drafting away on a lot of the ideas that we have for that space. What's going to be really important, and we've brought some additional consultants on, is to make sure that the area is soundproof. Again, this is our quiet space. This is where people study. But again, our architects have done this in the past, and they believe that the room will be completely sound insulated. So all of the people that are studying on the floor that has the majority of our books will not be interrupted in any way.
Our gender, it's important to note that that videography space is where our videography team is going to move to, but it's made large enough so it'll be available for training for the Inglewood High students as well. That's one of the most important things about the library renovation. It was meant to double as an innovation center and offer training and spaces that are not available to other schools.
Correct. Correct. And that plays back to the sizing of a lot of these spaces. Our rooms are bigger. The production studio that we're adding is larger than most cities would have, and that's specifically so we can work with students within that space and it's not too confined. Next slide. Is a rendering of what this floor looks like. Again, you guys will notice that we keep all of the reference desks in the same area on each floor. And again, the thought process is that if somebody wants to find a staff member, if there's anything, the layout always looks the exact same, and our staff is always able to oversee this entire floor and have that same interaction. Next slide. Again, this is our quiet study space. Next slide. This is the exit for the stairs on the top floor. And what you guys can understand with this picture is this is how the entire floors are tied together with this unique staircase that basically brings all of these spaces into one. Next slide. Okay. That concludes the current renderings that we have for the renovation. Again, the furniture and colors and things like that we're still working through. But as far as the major components of the rooms, the spacing, and how it works around the seismic retrofit bracing, all of that has been set at this point. And we are basically just a few weeks away from moving into what are called construction documents. That is the point where we make a submission to the city to get approval to construct the specific plan that we've put together. The best case scenario, if the construction documents are approved, we go out to get a contractor. That contractor will need a few months before they can actually be on site. So maybe by May or June of next year, they would be on site and staff would be out of the building at that point, and the 16 months worth of construction would start.
Thank you. So we'll receive and file. We've had the brief, it wasn't a brief presentation. We had the presentation.
Very good presentation. May not have been brief.
Excellent.
It was
Don't let them say
Excellent.
that to you, man. You hardly ever come up here.
It was excellent presentation.
Excellent.
man.
Can we,
Excellent,
can we
Arjun, there.
like
Add
I mean,
something right now,
I love it.
Harjinder. That
but-
was part one.
No, it wasn't brief. Now, but we're going to provide staff with further direction, and that's carry on. You're doing a good job, Arjinder.
Harjinder, thank you.
Okay. A1. Mr. City Attorney?
Yes, nothing to report, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay, under the confines of CM1, we're going to acknowledge someone who is departing from us, and that's Angela P. Williams from Public Works. Angela started as a part-timer in December of 1984, and she was a part-timer for like 4 years. What did you do wrong? Okay, and she became full-time in November of 1987. She was a customer service representative, then an administrative assistant, an administrative analyst, then a senior administrative analyst, and then she directed environmental and sanitation services. She has 36 years and about 9 months on.
But she's
And-
been here for 40.
Angela, yeah, she's been here close to 40. But she, matter of fact, I was a lieutenant in the police department when Angela was hired as a part-timer. And we're going to let her big boss for most of that time, Louis Atwell, speak about her.
Hi, Angela. I just wanted to say it was an honor working with you. You will be missed. We had some great times. As everyone knows, that trash is a very difficult subject, and it's not perfect, but you did a great job. So I really appreciate you, and we appreciate you, and your staff appreciates you as well. Thank you.
And she didn't want a plaque, but we did give her a Seiko watch to retire. And so if you come over here to the
Wait, are you leaving like now or?
this is what I
Dang.
say.
Wow.
That was a curveball.
How was it? That was fast, Angela.
Dang, talk about sneaking out.
It's funny how they give a watch for retirement. You don't need to be on time for anything.
I was just barely born. Have you heard that? Yeah. Come on, Angela, man.
Make us cry.
I'm trying not to. It's funny, as much access I have to language, either Spanish, English, or American Sign Language, I don't have the words to tell each and every one of you how this ride has been. It's been a journey. I've been here low, 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 and now with the trajectory that the city has now, the great administration, great leadership, everything will be fine. But it's going to take some time for me to disconnect from my 40 years of coming to this building. So again, thank you all. You have a plan that is awesome. Even this week, the Intuit Dome is opening for Bruno Mars concert. It's just everything. I was asked to stay longer than I thought I was going to be. I was asked to be put on some great projects, the Super Bowl concert series. I supported the mayor's State of the City event, helped the council do any events that they wanted. I was asked to be a part of that. So I know that was outside of what my everyday job was, but I was happy and blessed to do that. Mm-hmm. So I thank you all. You guys have all been a part of my life, and you'll go in my heart forever. And for this, thank you, muchas gracias, and thank you all.
Now, a little secret, when I came back to be the mayor, Angela came to me shortly after I started, and she said, I think I'm going to retire, because we were getting rid of Lifetime Medical. And she says, I'm going to retire for it. I said, let me tell you something, Angela, you stick around, you're going to be able to pay for your own medical. And she stayed, and the city prospered, and we're going to miss you. Miss you, Angela.
Oh.
Yeah,
Sure.
we should all say
Sure, go ahead. Out of your 2 minutes.
All right.
Want to start? Oh.
But look, for me, Angela, the interesting part was one day I had just gotten on the council, or just here at City Hall, and I ran into Angela, and she started talking in Spanish better than I could, man. I was like, God darn, man, where'd you, and she's rattling off in Spanish and stuff, and it was great because so many of our community, we're over 51% Hispanic, so it was always good to be able to call Angela and to reach out to her, and she is what I call one of those people, like we say in Spanish, dicho y hecho, said and done, right? If you bring it to Angela, you don't have to worry about it, you don't have to stay on top of it. just know that it's done, it's taken care of. She's one of those folks that, you know, she would say, do you want me to get back to you? Do you want me? To give it to her is to say, you know what? Run with it. And so we're going to miss you. We're going to miss you, but also we're going to celebrate you because this is a celebration, man. You have made it 40 years of seeing this city, you know, just the transformation, right? But there's nothing better than to be in retirement, enjoy and live your life. And thank you on behalf of everyone here for your 40 years of dedicated service. And may God continue to bless you, protect you, and continue to let you live la vida loca.
Mr. Mayor, Can I
Councilman
speak?
Morales, I'm going to go
Oh.
with seniority. Councilman Morales.
I don't have anything. No, just kidding.
Sure.
Look, Angela, you know, I probably got on your nerves the most out of all of us. And I'll tell you that, you know, it's such a shocker to see you leave. You surprised us. No matter who does what for 40 years, that's a long time. And, you know, this is family, you know, and you go through so much together. I remember you. I didn't know what you were working on back when, who was the gentleman he went to Cerritos, he had the job you have before you got it? Thomas, I remember you back then, and I don't know what you were doing, but I do remember us connecting back then when I first got on the council. We had the same conversation you and Jim had about Lifetime Medical, and I told you we were going to do great things and we were going to get a mayor at some point. I saw the future then too. But the bottom line is, look, you know, you've made your impact here. Nobody can ever take that away. I mean, there's nobody in the building that doesn't know who you are. You're right about helping all of us do our events. You know, you did a great job on that. You brought the environmental day music festival here, which really started everything, because that excited us. That excited us to bring out the community. They were all extremely popular, and that's what triggered everything else we have today. So you get credit for that. But I hope you enjoy everything we've become because you've been part of it, and I appreciate you. Thank you very much. Good luck, Angela.
Dion?
Thank you, Mayor. So, Angela, I just want to say thank you so much. It has been such a pleasure working with you. I mean, you're like the quiet giant because Angela is one of those people where she's kind of the quiet person in the room, but man, oh man, she gets the job done. And we've seen your work over the years, not just in public works, which you've been an amazing asset there, but then also for some of the best events that's ever happened in Inglewood, the Super Bowl event and Earth Day, and then you helped me with the City of Inglewood Music Fest, and you just have always been so gracious and accommodating with the mayor, the council members, administration. We really love you. We're gonna miss you. I'm gonna miss you dearly. I don't know what I'm gonna do without you, but I will miss you dearly. And so we wish you the best in retirement. Enjoy it.
Gloria?
Angela, I probably have known you those 30 years you've been here. I think, didn't you start in the city clerk's office? Right, yeah. But I want to just say that I'm very proud of you. I've seen you progress through the years, and you are a constant. You've heard several of the council people talk about how constant you are and consistent with your commitment to your work. You are a worker, and that's so important, that even after so many years, that you are still committed to doing a great job. And so, you know, I've seen 4 different mayors here in this city, and you have too. And one thing that has been constant is you, Angela, your commitment to this community. And so thank you for your service. Congratulations. Enjoy your life. And I know I will continue to be involved with you and you involved with what we do. So thank you.
You know, Angela is very good at organizing events, and she actually had control of the only thing that we could afford to give for a while, and that was Earth Day, right? And so we got the money from the trash contract, so we could always do Earth Day. And she is a fountain of institutional knowledge. And like everybody says, once you, I think Alex said it best, you give it to Alex, you give it to Angela, you don't have to think about it anymore. All right? And so we're losing a lot of institutional knowledge with you. Others that have worked with you have assimilated it, and you've made a mark on the organization that will never, ever be erased. Thank you very much, Angela. And with that, City Manager, any other oral reports?
There are none, sir. Thank you.
CC1. Okay. M1.
That the city council approve a one-year renewal agreement with Generation Connect to provide technology support, online educational services, and common interest bonding opportunities between Inglewood area seniors and Inglewood area high school teams.
So moved.
Second.
Madam City Clerk. Oh,
I'm sorry.
oh. Okay.
Council members Gray,
Aye.
Padilla.
Aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Falk.
Aye.
Mayor Buttes.
Aye. There are no appointments to boards, commissions, and committees. Public comment regarding other matters. Persons wish to address the city council on any matter connected with city business not elsewhere considered on the agenda may do so at this time. It's your time, sir. Yes, you said you wanted to speak? Yeah.
My name's Jeff Cantor.
If you want to be on TV, you got to go back to the mic. Okay, all right.
And just to give you a brief who I am, I moved into Inglewood about 25 years ago. I was in the clothing business, very successful, lived in Santa Monica, and my business went broke, and I was looking for a place to live that I could afford, and Inglewood seemed right, and I moved into Inglewood, I guess it was around 2000. And I've been here ever since. I picked up the pieces, found another career, and have survived. Not like I did in the clothing business, but I'm still here, and I want to stay here. I'm going to be 76, and I can't work anymore, so I'm on fixed income, and I know the rents, they've gone up. Yes, everyone deserves to make more, but I don't see anybody really concerned about the seniors and their situation on fixed income with very little increases in our pensions and social securities. So I'm basically here to ask if somebody is concerned to see if we can keep the seniors here, or are you just wanting to move along and whoever can afford to stay here, fine, and
Okay.
whoever can't.
What was your name again, sir?
Mr. Cantor.
Mr. Cantor?
Jeffrey Cantor.
Jeffrey, let me tell you something. We're very concerned about seniors. We have a 3% rent control cap. This is the most strict in the state of California. We also have senior housing that provides subsidized housing for seniors, but there's a long waiting list. So nothing could be further from your comment about do we care? We definitely care. And Inglewood has more affordable housing per capita and in whole numbers than anywhere in the South Bay. And so we're doing all that we can.
And the training we provide at the senior center.
Oh. What's that?
You made increases and there wasn't even any provisions, any discounts, any concessions, anything to give the seniors a little bit of.
Mr. Cantor, Councilman Morales is going to speak in a minute. I don't think you heard me. We put a real strict cap on rents, and we have senior centers. We have senior housing. There is a list, and I don't know what more I can add to that.
I'd like to say something.
Sure.
You know, it's difficult for us to point everything out that's been done here for seniors, but you can be reassured that we think about it a lot. First of all, we have a state-of-the-art senior center, but aside from that, we have an excellent delivery of lunch program for seniors. That's another item that we have. Just a few years back, we checked the utility, I think on the fixed income utility discount. We've made an adjustment. We might need to look at it again to make that adjustment soon now based on the CPI. As the mayor said, we do have a variety of senior housing. We probably have per capita more than most cities that are around us. What are about
Absolutely.
110,000 population. We have an abundance of that, some of which has been built within the past 5 years. But what I was going to tell you is, even when it came to those items at the time, I believe it was Mr. Singh who was in charge. We worked to get Inglewood seniors in first. Am I right, Mr. Singh? And we worked to process out that if you get on that waiting list, they manage to help you first. Right, and there is a list of Inglewood seniors. I really, I'll talk to the housing manager again to see how that's worked, but I would suggest that you get on that waiting list. We can't go back and
We
forth
can't
here.
go back and forth, but we've gone way over. All right.
What all
What-
I'm asking you is to think of the future when you hit us with these 9.9% and keep rising. Maybe
Sir,
think that the seniors are getting.
Sir, we don't raise rents. Okay, thank you. We're gonna go to council comments. Councilwoman Gray.
You got a
Oh,
person back
go ahead.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Mayor Butts and esteemed members of the City Council. I'm Brandy Keith with the South Coast Air Quality Management District, and once again, just want to share a quick update from our agency. This month, the South Coast AQMD Governing Board approved a new regulation called Rule 2306, which focuses on reducing emissions from freight rail yards. This rule is a part of a broader effort outlined in the 2016 and 2022 air quality management plans designed to improve air quality and public health, especially for communities near freight hubs. Rule 2306 sets specific targets for reducing nitrogen oxides emissions from freight rail yards in our area, aiming for reductions that are in line with or exceed those required across California by state regulations. The rule also mandates reporting on zero emissions infrastructure and requires public agencies to include compliance requirements in their contracts with freight rail yard operators. For more details, you can visit our website or follow us on social media. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Hi, my name is Scott Yanofsky. I'm a property owner here in Inglewood. My third time coming here for the same thing. 2019, you enacted rent control, and that's fine. It works out well. People know what they're going to get in the way of increases. It helps seniors. But what you didn't do is you didn't enact the part of the rent control where the landlords can pass on a portion of their capital improvements to the tenants. I call once a month, I get the same exact answer. The answer is, we're forming a committee, we're getting a consultant, they're working out the rules. This is since 2019. Last time I was here, the city manager had, and I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing her name incorrectly, Akima? Akima. She called me, and she gave me the same thing they've been giving me for years now. They've done very well with the registration of the unit. They collect the fees. Well, the fees go to the housing department, but they're not doing their job. So it'd be nice to see if they get it together, get the committee, get the consultants, and move forward. I've done a simple question I ask. What does the committee consider a capital improvement? Nobody in the housing department can answer that.
Okay, sir, you're at time. All right. Welcome, ma'am.
Hello, beautiful people. My name is Cherie. I'm a resident here, business owner. And I just wanted to get some help, Mayor Butts. I know you have a highly decorated police officer background. So Sunday, July 21st, there was a burglary incident at the residence at Hollywood Park where I live. My $4,000 bike was stolen from a locked floor that's fob protected in a bike storage space with cameras. And I reported it via email because it was a Sunday to my community manager, who responded, "That's too bad, your insurance should cover it." Monday, July 22nd, I asked the manager to contact the police to report a burglary. because a public safety advisor informed me that since my bike was stolen from inside our building, specifically from a locked room within a private space, the incident classifies as a burglary rather than a theft. My community manager said that they would not, so I called and did a report. The officer asked for the footage from that bike space, and they refused to release it without a subpoena. So they also told me that the footage would not be available for 15 to, like, they only back it up for 15 to 30 days. It's now 3 weeks later, and there's no detective assigned to my case. I keep checking in. The footage is probably already gone. What's the point? I'm living in a space I don't feel safe. Why? Because the cameras are there. Apparently, I can't have access to it. Second, like, it can go from a bike to a car to my apartment. I'm a single woman. I don't feel safe. I don't know who to report to. I don't know who's working
Well,
for my
ma'am,
district.
ma'am.
So I just need help for
Ma'am,
that.
what was your name again?
Sheree.
Sheree. So you're going to talk to the sergeant at arms here. You're going to give him your name.
Okay.
You're going to give him your phone number.
Okay.
He's going to immediately contact the detective bureau.
Okay.
They are going to, as soon as they can, contact your apartment building. If they do indeed insist upon a subpoena, that's going to make it more difficult. I don't think that they're going to resist that. And we hopefully will be able to get the footage before it expires. So the quicker you give your information to the sergeant, the quicker he can get the detectives on it.
Okay.
All right?
I know because you've been an awesome officer in the past, but we're having a lot of trespasses as well because of all the events. So I just think we need more coordination as to, like, who is overseeing Hollywood Park as far as, like, public safety, because it's not clear.
So you live on the grounds, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, first and foremost, you should talk to the authorities at Hollywood Park, and it's a private area. You're in a private area. I will tell you this: I don't believe that we have patrols that go through that area. So your first recourse would be with your building manager, but we will handle the investigation.
Sadly, there are a bunch of white women who don't really understand our
Okay,
culture.
well,
Seriously,
well, let me tell you, there's a lot of black women that don't understand either. So, ma'am, we're gonna have to zip it. We're gonna have to zip it.
Viral quickly.
Okay, ma'am. The quicker you talk to the sergeant, the quicker we can go get that film.
Okay, I'm
All
not
right.
attacking,
Okay,
I'm just
but
letting you know information. to help you
but you're
avoid-
out of time, ma'am. You're out of time.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. You go on in the back if you want to speak. It really would help because everybody out there, they want to see you.
Also, the PA system.
Sir,
the sound system.
it's better that you do it.
Not that I was here to beat up the city. I was actually here to give the city a round of applause for all of the economic development. My name is Ivan Mason, and I used to be a former director for the Veterans Community on Hinge Street.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't done that in 2 years because of my health issues. But I've noticed that there's a significant problem that is arising with the homelessness issue. At one point, Inglewood used to have an issue with homelessness amongst veterans. That's not a problem anymore. Now we're starting to see issues with people randomly setting up encampments, especially along your freeway exits leading into the city. And one of the bigger things that I saw also was, it seems that you can't figure out a fix for that Century Boulevard issue at 405 that leads into this beautiful city. You know, seeing that Intuit Dome is opening this week, having events and whatnot, and between the city of Inglewood and the city of Los Angeles, it's a shame that that beautiful area where you got your big Megatron board, you can't seem to fix the homelessness issue right there.
Where exactly are you talking about, sir?
Century Boulevard.
At Prairie?
Century Boulevard.
405.
Okay. So I thought that's what you're now. You probably don't realize, and most people don't, those freeway on-ramps and off-ramp areas, it belongs to the state, the responsibility of Caltrans. And when we become aware, we do contact Caltrans, and they're pretty good about coming through and cleaning out encampment areas. So I would have been surprised if you said that we had the problem on our sidewalks, because we're sir, your time is done right now, because we are very big on maintaining public right-of-ways. So now that you've told me about that, we will contact Caltrans, and we'll endeavor to have them come out and clean up any encampments that have set up there. With sir, we're done. You only get a minute, and then we heard you. We'll respond to you, and then you can come back next week and you can tell us part two. All right. With that, we'll close public comment. We'll go to council comments. No, but before we go to council comments, there was an appointment to District 3 to Councilman Morales nominates, and I will appoint Joanna Benitez to the library board.
Move concurrence.
Second.
Madam City Clerk?
Council members Gray,
Aye.
Padilla,
Aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Falk,
Aye.
Mayor Butts.
Aye. Now we'll go to mayor and council remarks. Councilwoman Gray, District 1.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. First, I want to thank the public for coming out. It's always good to hear from the public, so thank you. I want to thank Harjenda for that wonderful presentation. I'm excited about, as I'm sure most of us are, about the renovation of the main library. It's exciting, and I can't wait to see it happen soon. I want to make sure that everyone remembers that on August 24th, we're having the Family Unity Day in Darby Park. We're excited about it. It's an opportunity for family and communities to come together. We will have games for young people, all kinds of activities. We will also have card games for seniors or for those who like to play cards. We will have free food. We will have hot dogs and hamburgers and tacos. We will have softball games. In fact, the mayor will throw out the first ball in a softball game between the fraternities, and I think it's Inglewood
Don't
Police
miss
Department.
it. Don't miss it.
And then the fire department will participate. They will be there. We will have young people playing basketball. So we're really excited about it. We will have resource and information booths there. We'll have Centinela Hospital there, social justice. So please come out. It will be exciting. We're looking forward to it. It's an opportunity for communities, for families to come together and have fun with their neighbors. So please come out August 24th. It's from 1 to 6 o'clock at Darby Park. The next event I'd like to talk about is the National Night Out. You see our great police chief there, Mark Fraterata, and you see me in an old car, and Councilman Padilla is very much involved in that project there. They always have a number of old cars. I think that was a 1940-something Cadillac, and it was immaculate, owned by Tyrone Smith. I believe that is a picture well, first let me thank the chief and Cinderella for that event, because and all the men and women who protect us from the police department. That event, that picture's from the same event. You can see Councilwoman Falk, myself, and Councilman Padilla, the mayor, and all the men and women and communities. Just a nice group picture. I do want to talk about another event that I went to. I think this was the Community Day, the Back to School Day, I believe it was, at Crozier. I believe that's the event. Lots of folks were there. They had lots of resources for kids, backpacks, shoes. They were giving away, one of the vendors there, I think that will be opening his shop, giving away shoes. They had free food. It was a great event. So Inglewood is just having so many events to bring to our communities. And one last thing I do want to mention is that I went to, this one is very important, because this is, I think it was yesterday, where the school district revealed the fact that they will have a new academy that will start next year. It's funded by Dr. Dre and Jimmy Iovine, I believe that's his name, and Iovine, and is excited. It will have the most innovative approaches to education, technology, and so it's really excited for the kids in this community. And so thank you to Dr. Dre and Jimmy Iovine, and also to Dr. Morris in the school district for having that vision. So again, the kids are our future, so that's very important. One last thing, Mayor, please, is that Senator Bradford had a back-to-school event on that same day last Saturday, and it was well attended. Giveaway. I think every kid should have a backpack by now because we have so many backpack giveaways. It was a wonderful event, so congratulations to Senator Bradford along with, it was at Compton Community College, and so congratulations to him. Thank you.
Councilman Padilla in District 2.
Great, thank you, Mayor. First off, again, a huge thank you to our community that came out last Tuesday night for National Night Out. Senator Eller did an amazing job of putting it all together, but I also want to acknowledge Chief Ronarata and all the men and women of the Inglewood Police Department and all the staff for always doing what they do to keep our community safe. This was truly a standing room only crowd. There's a couple of pictures up there of also we did a classic car show. I ended up having over 55 classic cars that came out to that event just to kind of support what our police officers do every single day. And it was our way of saying thank you. Thank you for your dedication and thank you for your service. Also, I had the opportunity to attend IUSD's back to school event. Nothing better than to seeing the smile on kids' faces. And they come out, they're having fun, they're getting, their backpacks, they're getting a snow cone, popcorn, being able to play at some of the booths. All these things are great for the community. And again, thank you to Dr. Morris and all his staff at the Inglewood Unified School District for bringing the community together. As you can see, we were all out there in force to support our children. This morning, I had a chance, and I know Councilwoman Falk is going to talk about it, to attend the groundbreaking for Crenshaw Boulevard. And I got to thank you, Councilwoman Falk, for inviting us to go there and be a part of your groundbreaking ceremony. District 4 is fortunate to have your leadership and your ability to just get things done. So thank you for that, and I know you'll touch on that when you do your recap. Now I just want to, Harjinder, is he still here? You did a great presentation. I was telling the mayor when I reached over, I said, man, this is a great informative presentation. I'm one of those that likes to look at the pictures and like to see it, and that was one of those wow moments when you look at the transition that's going to come for, again, our school children. The students, the computer room, the children's area, I wrote a list here, community room, the children's lab, the teen center that's going to be there from the South Bay Web, the teen area, the computers. Just all of this dynamic transformation of our library is amazing. And I know people are going to say, wow, 16 months. It'll go by fast, but it'll be worth the wait. All good things are worth waiting for. So thank you for your presentation. Now I just want to real quick invite everyone this coming Saturday, 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. to my annual District 2 picnic and chili cook-off. Now we have at least 10 to 12 chefs that are vying for the trophy for this year's chili cook-off. We have the 2 champions coming back because they want to, get their trophy. So we're going toe-to-toe. And one of my judges, I'm not going to say who, is actually in this room. So,
Really?
and I told that judge, save your appetite because we're going to have a lot of food this Saturday. And following the picnic, oh, by the way, we're going to raffle off a ton of bicycles and scooters for the kids. So bring the kids out. We're going to have ice creams, paletas, popcorn, and root beer floats. And then following the picnic is the movie in the park, Kung Fu Panda. So we look forward to seeing you this Saturday, 4 p.m. at North Park. See you there. Thank you.
Councilwoman Falk, District 4.
Thank you, Mayor. Councilman Padilla, I will be at the chili cook-off. I wanted to really quickly thank Harjinder for that substantive City of Inglewood Library presentation. It is going to be amazing, and our kids are going to be so happy with the final product. So thank you. I want to again congratulate Angela Williams on her retirement. We're going to miss you so much, but we wish you well, and thank you for 40 years here at the City of Inglewood. I want to acknowledge, they've already said a great job with the National Night Out. I want to acknowledge the hard work by Chief Mark Fronterata and Cinder Eller in putting together a fabulous National Night Out last Tuesday. And then Councilman Alex Padilla for the beautiful car show. I mean, I saw 3 cars there that I would love to have in my garage. So it was amazing. I say it was the best one yet. So I can't wait to see what next year's National Night Out will be like. Also, I want to acknowledge Chinua Association, that's the Century Heights Neighborhood Watch Association. They were able to give 2 scholarships to 2 students from City Honors. And these young ladies had GPAs of 4.0 or higher. They're going off to UCLA and St. John's University. And I just wish them the best. And I want to congratulate Chinua on putting together a little scholarship fund to be able to bless students every year with the scholarship. So again, congratulations, Chinua. Councilman Padilla touched on it. We had a fabulous groundbreaking ceremony. We are getting ready to beautify Crenshaw Boulevard, and I'm really excited about it. I feel like this is probably the most important thing I've done here since I've been with this fabulous group around this dais for 4 years. And Crenshaw Boulevard, to me, is the heart of District 4 because once you get off the 105 freeway, you travel through, and it's just needed a facelift for a while. And so I'm so thankful for the mayor, the council members for coming out and speaking and being a part of this wonderful opportunity to beautify Crenshaw Boulevard. We'll have new streets, new trees, new sidewalks. Everything is going to be new, fresh, and beautiful. So congratulations, City of Inglewood. Congratulations, residents of Inglewood. You deserve it, and this is going to be such a beautiful new Crenshaw Boulevard. Lastly, I want to remind District 4 residents, I'm having a town hall meeting. That's tomorrow at Hollywood Park Casino. So please come out. We will start sharply at 6 p.m. My colleagues, the mayor, council members will be there. They'll bring greetings, but we have lots of great information to talk about, like the opening of the Intuit Dome. So we have a great night planned for you. And lastly, on August 24th, we will be out there at Crenshaw Imperial, and we'll have a backpack giveaway. I'm partnering again. This is my second year partnering with the Assembly member Tina McKenna. So we have lots of great backpacks for our kids, our children in the City of Inglewood, and we'll be there from 10 to 12. So please follow my social media so you can get the updates. But I think that's it for now, Mayor. Thank you again, Mayor and council members, for being there this morning to support the Crenshaw Boulevard groundbreaking ceremony. Thank you.
You're welcome. Councilman Morales, District 3.
Thank you. A few things. First, I'd like to congratulate Councilwoman Falk, who just did a great job of pushing the Crenshaw project the whole time. It shows it takes years to get something like that done. I think it's $19 million project, so it's going to be a great project. And main corridor streets within our district, it's one of those things where once it's nice, once it's done, no one mentions it at all. But when it's messed up, boy, you hear that every day. So,
Exactly.
I'm sure it's a big progress, not only for you as a council person, but for the residents. So great job on that. I wanted to point out, well, first of all, I wanted to once again thank the police officers who we got a chance to say hello out there during National Night Out. But I'll tell you, it's awesome that, we have a police department where you get to know the guys, they become your friends, but you get to see what they're thinking about. And because of how they feel about where they work, because of how they feel about what they do, it makes you feel good. It makes you feel good as a council person that you're counting on somebody who cares. So, they just do an awesome job, and I'm a big fan of the department. I also wanted to point out, I know we talked about, the mayor did a good job of kind of explaining the homeless population that exists along the 405. I'll tell you, we wish we could address that. The problem is the state does not allow us to get on to those off ramps to clean them. Most of that area is in my district, so I know. I've had my arguments with them, and as a matter of fact, I promote everybody giving them a call. Let's hound them. Let's hound their community phone number, because that everybody calls here. I tell them to call there. Even so, Public Works has gone out of their way to address issues when they go above and beyond. They get on where as far as they can go. I've seen them fix fences where there's corridors. There's no time to talk right now, but that's the bottom line. That's the bottom line. And with that, I want to say that the city does all that they can, and we're hoping that everybody complains to Caltrans because they should do more. But again, the homeless population issue is bigger than we are. Also want to spend a moment to speak in the memory of Richard Alatorre, who is one of the pioneers in Latino politics here in the city of Los Angeles and beyond. Extremely well respected. He was a powerhouse that really developed, what it is to kind of strategize and get a diverse population elected. Became extremely respected throughout the state of California. And now, even in recent years, I spoke to him a few times when he was doing lobbying and heard all the stories. Was too young to see him in action, but man, I mean, the stories tell him the story of a legend. So may he rest in peace, Mayor, and if we could close in memory of his honor. Thank you. Richard
You're welcome.
Alatorre.
Before we start with my week, I wanted to piggyback on what's been said about maintaining order in public spaces. And so want to make it real clear, in Inglewood, we have always prioritized equal access to public spaces. This is something that comes from my time in Santa Monica. If you wanted to see a homeless situation that wasn't well managed, you would have seen it before I came, and some say after I left. The governor recently signed an executive order cracking down, asking for enforcement of safety in the public spaces along the freeway and at the off-ramps. And we're taking him up on that, and we will continue to do what we've done to provide homeless services. We have a homeless liaison program that pairs with the county, and we provide housing vouchers, and as a result, we don't have the homeless presence that you see in other cities. National Night Out, it just, I was in law enforcement for 37 years, and I've held a lot of National Night Outs, and I will tell you there was not one better than this one. I will tell you this, Councilman Padilla said it was standing room only, and I can testify to that because we had no chairs for people to sit in. So, I mean,
No, I'm glad because you never joke around.
That was good, though. You're getting better.
Oh man! And so we're evolving, you guys, as a city. And I've said this before. We had a back to school fair that was. I just have to compliment Dr. Morris and Dr. Lucas and Carlos McGee and the school board. They've really worked hard. I think we gave out like 700 backpacks, and I just think we're going in the right direction. Councilman Gray talked about the Innovation Academy that's going to be opened at Morningside for a while until we find a permanent place. And I want to thank Dr. Dre and Jimmy Iovine for coming here. And the reality is that people know about Inglewood now, and they want to be involved. And the way that we're going to get our schools back on track is to offer educational and cultural opportunities that you won't get in other cities. And just like Harjinder showed you, the things that we're going to put in our library to make it attractive to students is going to bear fruit in time to come. And then we we went back to LAX. Now, I used to be in charge of public safety for LAX, and all these captains and assistant chiefs and so on and so forth, they were there as we waited for the plane to return. We have an Olympic gold medalist here. We have the CEO of LA 28, and the flag came back, and we were very, very proud to be there. We're a big part of the 28 Olympic Games. We're going to have the openings and closing ceremonies at SoFi. We're going to have swimming at SoFi. And we're going to have basketball at the Intuit Dome. And so this is the time for Inglewood. You know, I want to remind everybody that the Intuit Dome opens August 15th with Bruno Mars, and then that's another day in history for the city of Inglewood. And with that, I want to close in the name of Richard Alatorre, a long-seasoned local politician, and we're adjourned.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.